Welcome to the Shipping Podcast, where you meet interesting maritime professionals sharing their passion for the shipping industry and their everyday job. I am your host. My name is Lena Gothberg. Hello and welcome to the 27th episode of the Shipping Podcast. Who knew? 27 episodes and more than 18,000 downloads later, since the 1st of August 2015. I am amazed. Thank you very much, all of you who listens to this, and thank you for all the feedback. Nowadays, I'm approached by a lot of people who actually appreciates that I'm thinking outside the box, and that is great. It's a great feeling. In November, there were 2 maritime EU conferences organized in Gothenburg, my hometown. And I grabbed the opportunity to do some episodes with the keynote speakers. The topic for the conference, which was 3 days, was the first 1.5 day was on environmental issues. And that was more of the Zero Vision tool and alternative fuels. You can listen to the episode with Helene Jansson and you will understand. The second conference was Mona Lisa 2. And there you can listen to the episode with Anders Brödje, where he explains the entire concept. So for this episode, I captured Markky Mylly, who is the managing director of EMSA. And for those of you who doesn't know what EMSA is, it's the European Maritime Safety Agency, which is a European Union agency charged with reducing the risk of maritime accidents, marine pollution from ships, and the loss of human lives at sea by helping to enforce the pertinent EU legislation. And it's headquartered in Lisbon. As you will notice, I made this interview in the area where the conference was, and there were more conferences going on at the same time. So I have to apologize for the people who actually just walked in, sat down, and started to talk in the background where we were doing an interview. I can tell you that the closest ones were actually retired people who were looking for a holiday home, and they got rather loud. Sorry for that. But I'm sure you will be able to listen to Markky Mylly anyhow. Please enjoy. Markky Mylly, welcome to the Shipping Podcast.
Thank you very much.
Could you please introduce yourself?
I'm Markky Mylly, Executive Director of EMSA since 2012. And before that, I was working along in Maritime Administration in Finland about 25 years. And prior to that, I was an active sailor for 15 years.
Are you a master mariner or are you a chief engineer?
I'm master mariner, yeah.
So where were you sailing?
When I was sailing, so I was on the high seas all the time. So on the cross-strait traffic, on a tanker. I'm a tanker man.
You're a tanker man. Yeah, I understand. It's important to know if you're a tanker man or something else. Yeah. So what do you do now at EMSA? What's your responsibility?
Well, my responsibility is of course, to run the agency as efficiently as possible, to bring the added value of the money which is paid for the agency via the EU budget, which is about in the range of 55 million a year, as effectively as possible, to do the issues which are in our remit, that is increase and enhance the maritime safety, maritime security and environmental protection on the EU waters. So this is our main task and the scope where we are working with our 200 statutory post people, and then we have also something like 50 people in addition to that, which are trainees and national experts in-house.
So it's Marine Safety Agency. You are sort of making sure that people are fulfilling the regulations? Or?
Yes, we work together with the Commission and with the Member State and with stakeholders. And when we assist, we say that we assist Commission in technical expertise, what we have in-house, when Commission is preparing new directives or legislative proposals. So we make impact assessment and different type of studies to help Commission to make the final proposal, then to the Parliament and to the Council. We also work a lot assisting Member State in implementing the directives into national legislation when the transposition of the directive into national legislation has been done. So we visit the member state in a circle of 5 years, depending of each directive, and we make verification that they do the work on a harmonized way on the member state. And this verification is then reported to the Commission. Each mission which we do to the member state is reported to the Commission. And then after the 5-year circle, when we have visited all the member states, we conduct a so-called horizontal analysis, where we analyze our findings. And this horizontal analysis is then handed over to the Commission, and Commission analyzes the report then and makes decision if there is a need for revision of the existing directive, or if there is any other needs based on this horizontal analysis.
And we have both attended two conferences today. So it was the Zero Vision Tool conference under the Motorways of the Sea, and today it's the Mona Lisa. Talking about the Zero Vision Tool, you were making a keynote speech there talking about SECA and how ship owners fulfill their requirements and so on. What were your findings?
I'm very happy about our findings, what we have done since the directive came into force in the beginning of this year, because we developed so-called TETIS-S, TETIS sulfur system, which is a record. At the moment, it's a recording system of the national authorities' port state control findings. And based on these recordings, which are on the range of almost 6,000 now from all the member states, we have very few uncompliances. So I can assure that the industry has taken their responsibility and they are fulfilling the requirements of the sulfur directive. I had the understanding that the presentation from Canada, which was yesterday, they had very similar experience from Canada. So I think that on the SECA areas, on both continents in North America and on Europe, the industry has bear the responsibility and they are fulfilling the requirements. Of course, there are still uncompliances, but we can say that majority of our findings of those uncompliances are on the nature of administrative issues. So not decent recording on the logbooks, or there are missing samples or things like that, but not on purpose made uncompliances. And that is very happy news to me.
So today you made another keynote speech under the Mona Lisa, which is sea traffic management and
maritime safety and shipping safety. Yeah. The key message there is that there is still too many accidents on the European waters. We have so-called EMSA database, which is also a certain kind of recording database based on the accident investigation reports and accident reports from the member state. On a yearly level last year, if I remember correct, on the European level there was 2,800, 900 accidents and incidents on shipping, and of those accidents and incidents, 80 accidents were serious. So every week we have some kind of incident, and every third day we have serious incident or accident on the European waters, which to me is absolutely too much. We have to do something to that to minimize the amount of accidents. These accidents are sometimes fatal. We lost about 75 people on those accidents. Environmental consequences are huge. Economical consequences are huge. So I believe that something has to be done to this. And now we have worked a lot during the last couple of years with the passenger ship safety, which is paramount important for the European citizens and the Europeans, because we have something like 400 million passengers going on passenger vessels between the member state, and even inside the member state on the same country, we have more than 100 million passengers going. So we have been analyzing the existing passenger ship legislation during the couple of last years, and now we have made the proposal to the Commission, which has put onward to the Parliament and to the Council last month. And in this passenger ship refit, as we call it, we have made proposals to simplify the existing European level regulation, cutting the overlapping regulation, simplifying those issues. And then we also find out that there are need for some technical revisions of the technical rules, But this we take to IMO because it has to be on a global level so that there is a level playing field. And this proposal will be put on the IMO Technical Committee now on the coming January. So that is a damage stability proposal which was studied by EMSA. We made a very comprehensive study with the classification societies and with the industry. And in this study, we took a note of 6 different ship types so that we are not concentrating on one passenger ship type, but also ro-ro passengers, bigger, smaller, cruise vessels, etc. So all the varieties of passenger ships are covered with our proposal.
So you have a seat at the IMO, or you're represented on?
Well, we have at the moment one of our representatives who is permanently sitting in IMO. He is working there and reporting about IMO procedures and what is ongoing there so that we are up to date what is happening in IMO.
Mm. And also at the end of the seminar today, you made a point at the panel about seamen and education.
Yeah.
Where you mentioned that there are many seamen coming from the developing world.
Yeah. Well, the situation today is that on the European flagged vessels, majority of the seafarers are coming from the third countries. So the ship owners are employing third country seafarers mainly from Asia. They are coming from Philippines, India, Indonesia, even China, some Koreans also. And EMSA is verifying that the education and training which is giving to these seafarers on the third country maritime education and training centers, they are fulfilling the IMO STCW convention requirements, which is in fact the minimum level of training quality. And I emphasize that to me it's not enough, because knowing that people who are coming from the third world to European flagged vessels, they are coming from different cultural backgrounds. So to my mind, there is a need for certain kind of familiarization to the European culture for these seafarers, so that we are understanding the things on the same way. Mm. So it's a certain kind of, I would call in brackets, cultural brainwash.
So you have been around for a while. How do you see the future for shipping in general?
In shipping in general, I see the shipping, even though if there are challenges, but I see that the shipping is a flourishing area of business, also in the future. There are challenges, but I think we have to go more to that direction, that the European flags, they bear a certain kind of label of quality shipping. So they are fulfilling the environmental requirements, they are fulfilling the safety requirements, also the crews on board the vessels on a high quality. So this is the way the European shipping industry can survive in the future. This is my opinion.
Sometimes shipping is looked upon as the invisible industry. Do you have any ideas on how we could become more visible to the general public?
I think that is a big challenge, because shipping become more, let's say, invisible due to the fact that before the ISPS regulation came into force, ports were open for the people. They could go closer to the ships, they could go to the ports to see the ships. But today, it's impossible. The ships are far away, they are in ports, behind the fences, you can't go there anymore. And then when you see the ship, it's only in the horizon, and it's very difficult to convince the citizens about the importance of the shipping, because sometimes the people, they don't understand that Europe, in fact, is totally dependent of shipping, because the majority of the goods on the European level are coming by ships. Mm. Some people say that 75% of the goods are coming by ship. Some people say that 90% are coming by ship. Anyway, it's a huge percentage. And even on the European level, inter-European shipping is 40% of the goods are going by ships today. So it's paramount important that we also could trace the profile of the shipping. And again, we come back to the same issue. Only quality shipping, where we can confirm and confess the citizens of the European level that the shipping is an industry which bear their social responsibility, they are environmental friendly, and they are the most economical way of moving the goods from place to place. So this message we have to put forward.
Yes. Thank you for taking the time and talking to me. Who would you be interested to listen to yourself if you were listening to a podcast? Who would you?
Well, I would be very much appreciate it. Also, if we some stage could listen to Brussels decision makers who are working with the transport issues, especially commissioner or director of the DG Move. So that would be very interesting to hear about both of those people.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and good luck for the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That was interesting, I think. We will return to the issue of compliance to the SECA rules later on, since I recently met the Trident Alliance and their view of compliance to the SECA rules. But that will take a month or two, since I got so many interesting interviews for you prior to that one. As I have told you before, I'm interested in top lists and reviews. Some of you are actually helping me by writing reviews. It doesn't have to be much, just a sentence or two. iTunes doesn't understand what you write, just that someone is writing. And don't forget the stars. This is a 5-star podcast, remember that. So, top lists. The only way to get there is by subscribers and reviews. We want more non-mariners to just stumble upon this podcast and get interested in shipping. I can see now that we are sagging on downloads. Maybe we have reached the top with about 2,000 downloads each month. But don't we want more people to get the bug? You need to help me. You need to tell everyone how to subscribe. If they don't know that, there is an easy instruction on the website, shippingpodcast.com, both for iPhones and for Android. It's an easy to follow one. If you don't understand it, there is a lovely video on the Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, look for the Shipping Podcast and follow us there. And don't forget to have a look at the video. It's an elderly woman who is explaining to a younger guy how to get the podcast. Until the next time, I got another keynote speaker for you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Shipping Podcast. Don't forget to tell everyone that you meet that there is a shipping podcast where the maritime professionals are talking about their everyday job.